All right. Says we're live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know when we get this started. I feel like a fish out of water. I have my laptop. I'm not in my stream area. This is very weird. So let me try to get everything set up. Only having one screen when you're used to two is not my favorite thing in the world, but I think we're pretty set up. Appreciate y'all being here. A bit of an earlier stream, and yes, had the wedding yesterday, but we are still doing the stream. Everything worked out well, scheduling wise. All right, so let me try to pop the chat out. I'll try to get the Excel sheet up there, and then I think that's pretty much all we really need, as long as you guys can hear me. There, that looks good. Okay. Make sure my okay, audio is good. All right. Yeah, we have about, I think this race, obviously I did not get to watch practice or qualifying. I was able to scrape all the data, so I know what's going on. But when I first saw the qualifying order, once I got back on my phone after the wedding, I was like, what in the world happened? I saw SVG first. I'm like, typical. And then I start scrolling down. I'm like, all right, where's Chase Elliott? Where are these guys at? They're all in the back. So we have William Byron, 38th. All right, looks like we're good. Awesome. Yeah, we have William Byron 38th, Chase Elliott in 39th, Denny Hamlin in 40th, and Bo Wallace in 37th. So, of course, this race is just an absolute chalk fest, and at road courses, those place differential guys that have legit good finishing position potential are always going to look awesome. So, definitely going to be an interesting slate. I feel like this camera is flipping my face, and I absolutely hate it. Anyway. No Blaney flag? Oh, I'm sorry, Palmer. I didn't know you hated it. All right. Let me make sure this is up and running. Feels like my laptop is about to explode. So I already did pre-build my lineups. We do have an earlier lock today. I believe FanDuel locks at 2. I want to say DraftKings locks at like 2:17. Typically like add 17, 20 minutes to it. But yeah, my lineups are built, so I already know where I'm going. Single entries, they are pretty chalky. Now in 3 max, I did make a couple of pivots while still playing the main chalk. Outside of wrecking for William Byron and Chase Elliott, I just don't see how those guys don't make the optimal. I mean, these are guys we target at road courses, street courses, whatever it may be. Pretty much no matter where they are starting, and they're starting in the very back. So sometimes you just kind of have to eat it. Optimal rates and ownership are pretty much dead even for me. But the way I wanted to build in the 20 max, I just kind of went very aggressive on them, and then they are in every single one of my single entry and 3 max builds. Denny Hill and Wallace were the ones I mixed and matched out more because I just really trust Byron and Elliott to get the job done. And salary is really not that big of an issue, I don't think, today. And when you guys ask me cash questions and whatnot, I really think there's one cash lineup you play today. It gets literally everyone in there. You do have to play one punt, but he has PD. And I really think there's just one. I don't know how else you would build for cash today, because you can get SVG, you can get Byron, you can get Elliott, and you can get the other place differential plays, and it's very easy to make, and I'm assuming that's what most people are going to end up playing. All right, I did see a dono here from CGen. Let me get to that quick. Appreciate that as always, sir. Says, is there enough down points to play SVG and 5 PD or just all PD? That is a good question. I'm sure a lot of people are kind of asking themselves, well, do I just play Byron and Elliott, or do I have to take one out to play SVG? Now, I actually really think it's easy to play all 3 together, because you can play a punt and get there quite easily. Bo Wallace he's not free, but he is very cheap. Denny Hamlin's also cheap. Those guys are not good road course racers, but they're not bad enough to where you don't think they can sniff the top 20. Denny Hamlin finished 11th here 2 years ago. Bo Wallace, I believe, has like a nice string of top 20 finishes at road courses, at least since last year. He's got a decent amount of them, and his car was pretty quick in practice, at least from the data that I scraped. Like I said, I did not get to watch it, unfortunately, but trying to see why. No, I think that's right. Okay. But to answer your question, sorry, I'm distracted because this thing looks off. But, oh, there we go, full screen. Okay, that looks better. But I do think you can play them both together, but my priority today will be the main PD guys, Byron Elliott, instead of SVG. I think SVG is a great play. I think he leads most of the laps today, of course. It's just really hard to contend with him. But priority goes to Byron and Elliott, then SVG. But like I said, very easy to play them all together, which my FanDuel exposures currently, which the way FanDuel works, you don't really get any dominant points whatsoever. So I'm talking like nearly 80% of the PD plays, and then I'm down to like the 40-ish range on SVG just to be transparent there. What's up, Johnny T? Appreciate that. Who am I thinking for the core plays for FanDuel Cash? It's going to be the same as DraftKings today, but if you were in FanDuel Cash, I mean, you have to start with Byron and Elliott, and then after that, I'm fine with just playing the other PD plays with Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace is $4,500 on FanDuel. You can build whatever you want if you play Bubba over there. So, same exact as DraftKings today. What's up, King Watt? Appreciate that. You just got married a couple weeks ago. Oh, awesome. I hope you had a fantastic wedding. Hopefully everything is going awesome. Happy to hear that. Appreciate that, Raider. Top 5 drivers, 2 in the race, 2 sleepers. Thanks again, as always. Yeah, let me pull up the finishing results sims here. I mean, no surprise, you're going to see SVG at the top. Then Reddick, McDowell, Gibbs, and Christopher Bell. Michael McDowell looks like he had a pretty good car in practice, just based off of what I was able to scrape. I believe he came in number 1 in the lap averages. Pretty fast across the board. He was a good road course racer. He's got track position to work with. If anyone's going to upset at SVG today, I mean, maybe Michael McDowell can do it. You can get him at a nice little discount as well. So if you are aiming for a dominator and you can't quite afford SVG, I do have a decent amount of Michael McDowell exposure today just because of the price tag. And it's not like this is anything new. Michael McDowell has always been somewhat of a competitor at the road courses. He has won at one before. I think it was the Indy road course, I believe, or Charlotte Roval. It was one of those. But he held off Chase Elliott at the end. It was a very impressive run by him. But as far as sleepers are concerned, I mean, if it's not SVG, I would consider anybody else a sleeper because I just think it's very likely he wins. I could see Chase Elliott maybe being able to make strategy work. I think AJ Allmendinger could potentially as well. I do like AJ Allmendinger in tournaments today. He is showing a decent amount of positive leverage, so I will be getting there. I feel like I almost talked him down a little bit in the breakdown video, but to be fair to me, I did not get to see practice or qualifying yet, and just the way this grid shaked out, I actually don't mind the dinger today. Appreciate that, PJ. It's been a long time. Back when I worked with Stochastic, moved to this channel. Appreciate that, man. Really do. Thank you for always being here, and I do recognize you, so definitely not a stranger to me. What's up, Mom? Appreciate you being here. I gotta say, I'm not on the Joey train today, unfortunately, but I won't root against him too bad for you. Appreciate you, Sal. Thank you very much. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Alex? Yeah, still doing the live stream on the wedding weekend. But we did everything Friday, Saturday, so just kind of clean up stuff today. I'll be doing that afterwards, after the stream. But hopefully that does mean a GPP win. I wouldn't mind it. And yeah, I do think 50% of the field is going to be doing the same thing. It's just way too easy to make lineups today. And when that's the case, that means absolute dupe fest, and cash games are just going to come down to, hey, my 2v2 is better than your 2v2, or your scrub is better than my scrub. That's basically all it comes down to. What's up, Ryan? Appreciate that. Thoughts on FanDuel Cash? Like I said, it's just the same thing. Personally, my main single entry on FanDuel, I believe, leaves $2,500 on the table. So, it's not going to be anything crazy. I'm hoping, just because I'm leaving a lot of money on the table, that maybe people won't completely just dupe with me, but it's got pretty much all the popular drivers. Appreciate your stop. It was yesterday, though, but appreciate it. Yeah, all drivers are pretty much going to the back. I had the tweet ready from Bob, but I lost it. I believe it's almost like 10 guys. A lot of them are the ones already in the back anyway. If I lost my tweet, just to let you guys know, because people always ask me for the rear, we have Gregson, Larson, Elliott, Ty Dillon, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Ricky Stenhouse, Alex Bowman, and Catherine in the back of the field today. And also Denny Hamlin due to an engine change. So it's about 10 drivers So we're going to have Josh Bilicki starting like in 5th place today, basically. Chris will not be in this tux. I was happy to get out of that. It was very warm. Appreciate you, Rick. Thank you very much, sir. No, I was on time to the wedding, CJ. And what's up? Nice to see you. I'm sure we'll see Astro very soon. All right, Stump says, SVG almost didn't make the Xfinity Optimal last night. Unless he leads almost every lap and wins, it's all about PD today. I'll have in about 20% of my lineups. And I think that's totally fair. Now, in cash games, like I said, it's very easy to play him. It doesn't mean he has to be optimal, but in cash games, if you just want to like lock in those 50-ish points, if he wins and leads some laps, you can do that. But he is not a lock for optimal today. My optimal rates, I have him projected for roughly around 50, I think it's 54-ish points. That's below Byron, and that's below Chase Elliott. So he's showing optimal roughly around 40% of the time, which means more often than not, he's not optimal. So it's not like he's a lock, because $12,000 is a lot. And when there's not that many laps and he's not a guarantee to be out front the entire time, I mean, there's going to be quite a bit of strategy in this race. We could have rain, which the rain, I think, obviously adds into his favor, of course. But either way, I mean, I think he should be the best guy here. I think he probably wins. But at the same time, at that price tag with the lack of dominator points, it's no guarantee. Like, let's just say Christopher Bell, like, say SVG leads a good chunk of laps, but he finishes second. You could even win, but Christopher Bell comes in, finishes second, and then you have the 2 major PD plays. They could push him out when you're talking about like a $2,000 discount on Bell compared to SVG. So he's not a lock even if he does crush. And I did not get to watch the Xfinity race yesterday. I heard SVG did put Zillion to the wall, I guess. I don't know if that was a race-winning move or not. Unfortunately, did not get to see, but I believe Phil on Twitter, Race Sheets, he posted the optimal lineup yesterday, and I don't believe SVG was in the optimal despite winning. So just know, even if he does everything perfect today, it's no guarantee with the lack of laps. What's up, Ernesty? What's up, Clint? Appreciate that. What's the max amount of PD drivers I will put in a lineup? I mean, today, honestly, I am fine with full PD. Like, I don't mean like everyone has to be 30th on back, but like a lineup of Bell, Elliott, Bubba, Hamlin, and whatever else you want, like Cindric, whoever else you want to fit, Ross Chastain, that can work out today. There's not many laps today, so I mean, dominator points are not going to be of the utmost important, and strategy and shuffling is going to be the name of the game, and it could be a point where dominator points don't even matter if it comes down to extreme strategy and things get flipped around, which we have seen the field get flipped, twice now at Chicago in 2 races, so you can never be too sure. Saw a dono from A. Wright. Appreciate that. Says, my man Chris just got married and is back streaming for us. Not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, I have time, so don't worry. I'm not missing out on anything too crazy right now. But anyway, thoughts on a stack, and I appreciate the dono. Anyway, thoughts on a stack the back with SVG strategy. I like it. It's the optimal route in sense of medium projections. Just know everyone else is doing that. So it's not going to be anything. It's not going to be like I'm unique doing this. So just know that. But it's in this. The math says it's the optimal route. Doesn't always mean it's going to be. Chuck Norris gets up early on Sunday to CP. Most likely to win other than SVG, I believe I had we had McDowell second. Is that what it is? No, Tyler Reddick and then Michael McDowell. So I have Tyler Reddick winning 11% of the time. I might be a little bit too low on SVG, winning at only 16% of the time. The books have that. Not quite 50%. What are they implying? Yeah, 44.4, depending on what book you're looking at. So maybe I'm too low. I add a lot of variance because I think we've all seen NASCAR races where, yeah, the best guy is the best guy until he's not. I mean, things like last year, I mean, he got torpedoed out of the race. So maybe I had too much randomness, maybe I had too much variance, but that's just the way I like to, just the way I like to sim. It works out for me, so. Appreciate that, Matt. Thank you. Anyone running the top 6 today? Don't run the top 6 today. I don't think that's going to work out, Aaron. What's up, Chad? I swore a Bubba last week, never again, until DK goes and puts them on sale. They reeled you right back in. They know what they're doing. Rock says, Chris, don't forget to say, gentlemen and ladies, start your engines. I should have, huh? That would have been good. Thank you, Josh. What does exposure look like for the drivers in your player pool? I have a pretty concentrated player pool today, which I always seem to at road courses because for whatever reason at the road courses, we tend to just get like these major chalk plays. But I am nearly 80%. I'm going way higher than my optimal rates just because it's just how I want to build today. I don't know. It's just how I woke up. I'm playing roughly around 80% of Elliott and Byron. And then after that, I don't have anyone else above, I believe, 40-ish%. So very heavy on those two, which I know I'm special. I'm the only one doing that, but that's what my lineups look like. The missus needs the co-host today. That would have been good. She's not. They're out running around right now. So that's why the timing works good for this. The big GPP already filled, Nathan? That's pretty impressive. You probably made the contest too small today. Well, let's not forget, last week I did not look at the pools. I mean, I entered, but I'm going to enter it anyway, no matter what. But last week on Saturday, I think there was a ton of overlay on FanDuel and DraftKings. But Saturday races are always like that. They suck in the ratings, and they're horrible just for DFS purposes. I think everybody just forgets. I try to remind people, but it's like, MMA is on, other sports are on, I'm doing stuff on Saturday, and then they wake up on Sunday, and they're like, why is there no NASCAR? Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you. Live from the honeymoon suite. Unfortunately, not in the honeymoon suite. I am at my mom's house right now. Yeah, happy race to you is not funny, and I appreciate that. Will there be a lot of passing, or will it be hard to pass today? I mean, it's going to be hard to pass the guys up front, but I do think there will be a lot of shuffling around today. There should be strategy, pit strategy. I mean, that's where most of the moves are made on road courses. Of course, when we get long into the run, some of those guys do make hay. Like last week, there was 0 passing, but very late into the run in stage 3, we saw Chase Elliott go from like 15th to 3rd. So it just depends on how good your car is going to be in the long run. And some guys will be able to make moves, but a lot of it tends to be a bit gridlocked. Just setup might look weird, but the hair is still I cheated today with the hat. Didn't feel like doing it today. Good luck to you as well, Bull. Thank you, Steven. What's up, Astro? I did already get married, Justin. It was yesterday. Couldn't do it on Sunday. We got NASCAR on Sunday. Thank you, Gritter. Would I put a rule to max 2 of the studs from the back? Max 2 of the studs? Are we counting like Hamlin and Bubba as studs? Because like salary range, I wouldn't consider it personally because they're like in a different tier this week. But I would not. I mean, I think it could very easily. You could very easily see all 4 make it. I wouldn't want to pigeonhole myself just for the sake of getting different. Like we can get different elsewhere. Like and you could play all the PD, and then when everyone does that with SVG, you just swap them out for Christopher Bell or Cal Larson even, or just other builds like that. I don't think I'd want to lock myself out of all the good PD plays at a road course. Even I mean, they're going to be chalky, yes, but I'd rather play the good plays today, personally. Let me see. I lost my spot. So afraid of Bubba again? I mean, I understand that. Unfortunately, I play a lot of Bubba Wallace. He always looks so appealing to me. I mean, he hurts my feelings a lot, but he's typically fast. He's typically underpriced, and he'll wreck. It's just part of the experience. Larson and Bowman to the back, does that make them unplayable? I would not say it does. De Palma, I am not really in on Bowman today. Personally, I do like Larson a bit, but I'm not overly high on either. But I think I have quite a bit more Larson than Bowman right now. Thank you, Gritter. 10 drivers, 25% to the rear, says Bob. Yeah, it was 10. So, yeah, pretty much everybody in the back. We're going to see Balicki up front, basically. Not really. How afraid of a big wreck knocking out 2 or 3 chalky plays? How afraid? I don't know. If I knew who was going to be in those wrecks, I would love to know. Unfortunately, I do not, so I just play the guys, but it's possible. I remember, I think it was Sonoma last year, one of the road courses. All the chalky plays in the back, they died lap 1. Ryan Blaney was in the 30s, Denny Him was in the 30s, and they did not make it a few turns. The race was over, and it was a horrible experience. Because I'm pretty sure that was a very boring race, and I had to endure just pain. Appreciate that, Glenn. If you check out my Instagram, you can. I'll have a photographer, videographer, and we'll have some nice stuff up there. Would I fade the chalk in the back in a small field GPP? I mean, I'm not, so I can't tell you I would. Single entry stream maxes, I'm just overweight on that. They're good play. It's a road course. I'm not worried about missing out on the dominator points up front. If this was like Martinsville, I would, an SVG was somebody else and the other guys were different people, I'd be like, yeah, I would prefer the guys up front, but it's a road course. We saw it in Mexico. Byron was in the back, Bell was in the back, and they smashed. So I don't really want to miss out on that. Not saying it's a guarantee. Well, it happened then. It has to have. That's not how it works. But I'm just saying it's a similar setup. Thank you, Randall. I appreciate it, and I really do appreciate all the congrats from everybody. It's really, I know we're strangers on the internet, but I really do appreciate it. We have a great NASCAR community, and I'm glad you guys can, kind of be here for the moment. How does Chastain look? I do like him. I believe I want to say I played 30-ish% on FanDuel. I don't have my setup here, so if I change the Excel sheet, I think you're gonna see all my personal stuff, which I don't want to show. So I cannot switch out of it. But I believe he was around 30% for me. So I do like Ross, and I did tag him as one of my favorite GPP plays on DraftKings. It applies to FanDuel as well, so I do like Ross. Chat says, so Chase, Byron, SVG, Bubba, a punt, and whom for cash? Yeah, I'll just put it out there. The cash lineup I think everyone plays today is SVG, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, and then you're left with Ty Dillon, and it spends all of your money. You get everybody you'd want. I don't know if anyone really wants Ty Dillon, but at that point, who cares who the punt is, right? What's up, Hockey Freak? Any left for Priest? I will not be getting the Priest personally. He did not make my builds. Matt says, so do we just root for SVG crash? Make it a fun race? Honestly, yeah, if we want a fun race, we probably should root for SVG to crash. He's just too good at these street courses. Too good. He might give us a chance at other tracks, like, say, a Sonoma, Watkins Glen. Maybe the other guys will have a bit of an edge there. But when we go to these street-style courses, he is the man. Homer says, SVG in the Xfinity race, always hesitant to pick him for back-to-back wins. He was good, though. At least from what I saw. I did not get to watch the race, so I was just looking at results and whatnot. Obviously, he was on the pole. Alex says, in a DraftKings GP line with no SVG, would you go Bowman or Busher? I like Busher today. I have a good amount of Busher. And I actually have a decent amount of Michael McDowell. I don't think he's going to beat out SVG, but there's always the chance. He's a good road racer. He's just cheap. I'm not going to call it similar upside, but it's in the ballpark. He's got like the third best odds to win this race, and he's $3,000 cheaper than, $4,000 cheaper than SVG. So that's a big difference. Big difference. Balicki or Ty Dillon? I'm going to go with Ty Dillon there. Is Allmendinger a GPP play? Yes. I actually tagged him as one of my GPP plays today. I have a good amount. He is, I think he's in, I'm in 2 single entries. I believe he's in the smaller dollar one. But yes, I do like Dinger. That's on FanDuel, but it applies very similar today on either site. Who's going to the rear? I'm still behind in chat. I probably answered you, but I believe I'm going to try it off the top of my head. Kyle Larson, Noah Gregson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Ty Dillon, Catherine, and I'm missing somebody. Pretty sure I'm missing somebody, but it's pretty good off the top of my head, I think. I only looked at it twice. Appreciate you, Jay Swift. I'm jumping the broom in Barbados in October. Awesome. Hopefully you enjoy, sir. Have a great time. That'll be very nice. Thanks, Mad Dog. I got all chalky plays with SVG, but can't choose between Dillon Ware, Balicki. I know exactly what line you got, Mad Dog. I'm gonna say Ty Dillon. But just know you're gonna be duped. Palmer says they took away DraftKings in Georgia. They did? I heard they were taking it away in California. I don't know if that's official yet or not. I mean, that really sucks. But I don't know. I actually don't know if it's legal in Georgia or not. I just know where places I visit, if it's legal or not. Which, fortunately, Ohio, Florida, are the only two states I go to. Ohio and Florida, basically, and they're legal there. So, like, I'm in Ohio right now, and we have every book available, and it's amazing because in Florida we only have Hard Rock, and you know it's just one book. It sucks, but in Ohio it's amazing. You got everything. No problem at all, Exia. No problem. Bull says Bubba log out. Well, we know you love Bubba, Bull. You know that. Thank you, Dustin. How's my boy Busher going to do today? I'm not even going to lie. If McDowell gets ahead, SVG could be a sleeper. Oh, sorry. If he gets ahead of SVG, he could be a sleeper. I agree. But the reason I can't call him a sleeper today is because he's got the third best odds. Which I know anybody besides SVG could be a sleeper. And we know Michael McDowell, the name, sounds like a sleeper. But, I mean, he's pretty high up in the list today. So I don't know if I can rightfully call him a sleeper because of that. But, yes, I can agree with what you're saying. Fade SVG so I can fit Reddick, Gibbs, Chase, and Elliott. Yeah, sure. SVG is not a must. I think we all agree SVG is awesome. Like, he's going to do really good today, but it's the price issue. I don't think anyone here is saying he's going to be slow and finish 7th or 10th based off of skill or speed. He's going to be good. It's just a matter of how much can he lead when he wins, potentially, to knock anybody else out of the optimal. And it's got to be a lot. Sleeper for points on John Hunter Nemechek for DraftKings. Not 100% sure what you're asking me. If you're asking me about Nemechek, I can't really remember him popping up in my builds too often. His price is $6,200, starting in 25th. Looking at practice, 25th and 22nd, and that. I mean, I just kind of feel like he runs around there. And I don't know if we looked at practice yet on here, but I do have the lap by lap data here. We have Michael McDowell at the top, ran 11 laps, Byron second, Chase Elliott third, and they're in the back of the field. So, like I said, I just like them. I mean, they're fast, they're in good cars, they're good at road courses. It's the dream setup. Gibbs is up there, Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace. So, I mean, this is basically my player pool right here. We have these four, got these guys in here, got a lot of Busher, and of course there's other guys, but makes up a good chunk of it. Let's see. What's up, Spread? Good morning to you. Oh, saw a dono here from Palmer for the honeymoon. Appreciate that, Palmer. Really do. Thank you very much. We'll put it to good use. Thoughts on Zane Smith? Yeah, first Zane Smith question I think I've gotten. I do think he's kind of a solid GPP play today. Not bad at the road courses. But looking at recent data, average finish of 20th. Just have a top 5 mix in there, but typically just in the top 20. I don't hate Zane. He'll be a pivot off of some of the chalkier plays. If you want to kind of group him in with Bubba Wallace, they're in the 6K range. I think that's fine. He could be a pivot off of him for sure. Eric Jones and Stenhouse might get just a tad bit of ownership because they're cheap and they have PD, but I mean, Bubba's really going to soak up most of it there for sure. King says he keeps ending up with Reddick, Elliott, and Byron, but now I'm too late on SVG. It's the problem, you know. You can't get to everybody you want, especially when you have SVG. Unreleased says the FanDuel cash lineup might have the 37 to 40 cars, right? Yeah, the FanDuel cash lineup, in my opinion, it's Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Elliott, Byron, and then you can throw an SVG and it leaves, what, 3,000 on the table? It's pretty easy to do. Like SVG, on paper, it's like, well, 75 lap race, $14,000. Do I want to play him? But then you can afford him really easy. But in some of my builds, I took out SVG and I played Christopher Bell, which I really like that on FanDuel. You can take him out for Kyle Larson if you want to. He's going to the rear. I kind of slightly prefer Bell, but easy way to get different there. I mean, you just throw out SVG and put someone else in. Thank you, Michael. Thoughts on Gibbs? Don't mind Gibbs, Carl. He has ran pretty well at Chicago. It's obviously a very small sample size. He's good at road courses. He can be a little hit or miss, but we know he has the upside for it. I don't mind him. He does show positive leverage when it comes to tournaments, so I can get with Ty Gibbs. I did play him in my MME pool. Did not play him in any of my single entries or 3 maxes, though. Thank you, Tim. Yep, right back to the grind here. We're doing something later, but we have a nice pocket here. We can talk some NASCAR for sure. But yeah, she is the best. Thoughts on Cindric and Chastain as pivots in GPP? Yeah, for sure. I mean, Cindric, not as good as he was in the Xfinity Series, of course, at road courses, but he's still solid enough. And I do like Ross. Both guys, they are capable of good runs, but they're also capable of kind of putting up just kind of mid races at these. But starting 20th on back, they're not going to get the attention that they would on a different slate. If we did not have these major PD plays, we would probably be talking about Austin Cindric and Ross Chastain being chalky today. I mean, that's not going to be the case. I got you, Dave Palmer. He says, words of marital advice. You're not supposed to start your honeymoon with those T-Gens. What's up, Avery? Thank you. Any leans who drives best worst on wet tires? We do not have a large sample size of this. If we're just specifically talking about Mexico, Ryan Blaney, of course, I'll take any chance I can get to talk about Ryan Blaney, right? But he was awesome in the wets. Like, he was just pure speed. Obviously, SVG was good. Ty Gibbs was good. Austin Cindric, I feel, has historically not been great in wet tires. Although I want to say, when everyone came in to put wets on, he took slicks. Well, he didn't take slicks. He just kept them, or whatever it was. It's hard to remember every single thing that happens during a race. But he came out and he was just dying because he was not on the wet tires and it was not going well for him. You can tell he had a blast voice still sounding. It doesn't sound rough. Hopefully not too bad. I heard about that Python. I'm not exactly sure how it's all going to work out. So I don't really want to take much of a stand. Who knows what's going to happen, I guess. But I do know what you're talking about. And that's definitely a concern for sure. The way they have it set up is very, very stupid. You getting any Eric Jones today? Not willingly. He'll pop up if you're doing like MME, but in single entry 3 max type contests where I have control because I'm building it with my own fingers, I will not be clicking on Eric Jones. More of an MME play. I mean, it's just cheap PD, so it's not like he can't get there. But I think you kind of get what I'm saying. He's just not like a guy that stands out. And I did not play him on FanDuel. Appreciate you, Doug. Narc Mark there. Appreciate you, Narc. Mutant has Bell, Bowman, Bubba, McDowell, Elliott, and Nemechek. What's your take on the picks for DraftKings fantasy picks? DraftKings fantasy picks. Do you just mean like a DFS contest or like the pick 6 thing? If it's pick 6, I don't have a clue for pick 6. But if we're just talking strictly DFS purposes, I like Bell Laza pivot off of SVG today. Bowman's in the bag. It does make things a little bit tougher there. But Bubba, McDowell, Elliott, Nemechek. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it. You know, if SVG, it's going to keep you different. McDowell up front. If you can get out front instead of SVG, I mean, you'll definitely have big leverage there. Plus the massive discount, too. Thank you, Nathan. How the heck can we get different? What scriptures? Anything? Well, that's the issue. They don't really show any light. I mean, who wants to play any of these guys? Ty Dillon, because he has the most PD, is what people will play, and he fits perfectly on the chalk build today. I mean, Jones, Stenhouse, sure. Zane Smith, I like this little pool right here. It's not bad, but other than that, I mean, just hope for the best, I guess. And I saw in DraftKings, this surprised me. We had Riley Herbst with the worse odds than I don't know how to say her name, so I'll just call her Catherine. I don't know if it's Legay. I just can't remember for whatever reason. Yeah, slide from my mom's house. Back in the basement. Played Bubba too many times. 100% Elliott, and I'm assuming you mean Byron for you. Yeah, I would not blame you if you played 100% of them today. It's not something I can ever really recommend because it's NASCAR, of course, but if there's ever a situation to, I mean, this is probably one of them. Got a donate here from Spreader. Appreciate that. Says, congratulations. I sent you all those gifts for the 11th. Going to have a front door full. Wish plenty would run well today. I'll be looking forward to it, Spread. Thank you for the dono. And, you know, I think Blaney, he starts 17. I think he could probably be borderline top 10. But I think if we get top 15s out of Blaney at road courses, we're typically pretty happy. I know you and me were really upset about how he was running at Mexico because, honestly, I'm not sure I'd say he had a race-winning car because of how good SVG and Ty Gibbs were. But honestly, he was flashing top 3, top 5 speed, but he was not on the optimal strategy. He kept not pitting and taking the stage points, and it was really annoying. How many laps do I think SVG will lead? I believe I projected him for mid-40s. Mid-40s, close to 50, which is a good chunk of the race, obviously. Didn't give him the entire thing. How much SVG is too much for 20 max? Personally, for me, in 20 max, I played 40-ish%. So I'm in that 40 to 50 range. Sup, Stacy Chambers? Heck yeah, shout out to you, bro. Ohio stand up, yeah. Born and raised in Ohio, Northeast Ohio. Aaron says OH. Gotta give you the IO. Where are we at? Where's the honey? Well, don't technically have one scheduled yet. We still got to figure things out. Yes, we're a little behind. But we do have another surprise most people probably don't know yet. But I won't say it. A lot of Eric Jones. I mean, I'm not like anti Eric Jones, but he's just another body there. Starts in 34th. If you have $100 left and you want to click on Eric Jones, I would not slap your wrist. Appreciate you, Kiefer. Thank you very much. Do I need SVG? No, you do not need SVG today. At that price point, I don't think there's any scenario where you absolutely need him. Like I said, I think we're all in agreement. He is going to probably be very good today. Very, very good. But that price tag makes things a little difficult. Palmer says, Bubba plus MJ plus Chicago equals automatic. I don't think all the money in the world or all the narratives in the world could get Bubba Wallace a win at a road course. Got a message from one of my guys in here on the YouTube from Bull. It says there's something about reports going around that Bush is going to the rear. Bob just tweeted he is not. Okay. So he's not going to the rear. So if you guys are hearing that, I guess we're good. I don't think we've gotten one Kyle Busch question, actually, which is starting in $7,700. I guess I can understand why we're not getting Kyle Busch questions because of that. I don't blame you guys. But thank you, Bolster. Would I play SVG in any GBP tournaments on FanDuel or mostly stay with PD? I would, Yancey. I have 40% of him in 20 max, and I have him in I have him in my main single entry just because I can afford it, but then I faded him in the other for Christopher Bell. But I just think with the way salary is today, it's just so easy to fit him in. I don't think it's a big deal. It's a lot easier on FanDuel than it is on DraftKings, just the way the salary is today. Thank you, Nick. Who are the best GPP plays in 5 max? So the guys that were showing some really good positive leverage for me on DraftKings, which is what I'm assuming you're asking for. I believe we had AJ Allmendinger pretty high, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, Ross Chastain. And, I mean, they're chalky positive leverage is still on guys like Halen Bubba Wallace. Not as much on Byron and Elliott just because of the price tags and SVG. They're kind of battling each other out. But the mid-range PD plays don't really have anyone in the battle out too much. So they're showing positive leverage. But, yeah, Chastain, McDowell, Buescher, AJ Allmendinger. Kind of that 8 to 9K range right there. Has a lot of sweet spot GPP plays. Who was good in the rain again? It's hard to say who's like really good in the rain. It's not like we have 20 races of rain data, so I hate to really go too much into that. But I mean, SVG, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney. This is just specifically from Mexico. Ryan Blaney was awesome. I don't know if that's going to translate to this in the rain, but Ryan Blaney was like super good. This is your first time here, Mutant? Well, I'll tell you right now, I usually have a much better setup than this and better camera quality, better microphone. So this is a little makeshift right now. Usually things are much better. But I appreciate you being here, Mutant. Thank you very much. Why is DraftKings $20 this week? I think they just saw that nobody played last week, and they're like, well, NASCAR's dead to us for the week. It's what happens on Saturday races. The ratings are always horrible, and it always happens. Thoughts on Justin Haley today? I think Justin Haley, my thoughts are that he needs to lose his ride, but not really a big fan of him today. And nearly $7,000. It's just $7,000 seems a bit much. I mean, he's definitely been the slowest of the Spire cars, it seems like, every week. Thank you, Say What? Good afternoon, C. Mitch. Congrats on the wedding. Thank you very much. What are your thoughts on Cole Custer? I think he's starting a little too high for me. I know he ran great in Mexico, but I just really hard for me to click on starting in 23rd. And sorry, Din Super, I did not see your donut for some reason. Every time it's $1.99, that specifically, it never pops up at the top for me. I don't know why. So I am sorry. I say congrats, appreciate that. Bell, Ross, or Dinger between the three. If I can afford Bell, I believe he is at the very top for me right there. Let me double check on my back end. Yeah, that's Christopher Bell. I mean, Bell is a really good road course racer. Dare I say underrated? I don't know if that's underrated. I mean, I think everyone knows he's good, but he is really good. Is Josh Berry a solid punt? He's not very good at these. Starts in 29. Like, my projections didn't hate him just because of the price, and I would honestly say anybody down here is basically the same, and it's gonna probably just be luck based if we're being honest. I don't know how anyone can have a super strong lean on any of these guys. It's just going to be a matter of, hey, did we nail pit strategy? Did we avoid a parking lot wreck? Well, if you did, congrats. You're now smart. That's basically what it is. And I hate to just dumb it down that much, but I mean, if we're just being honest, which I want to be honest with you guys, that's all it's going to come down to here for these cheap plays. That's all it is. Can McDowell stay up front? I think McDowell can stay up front. Good road racer. Fast in practice. He's got good track position. I'd be surprised if he won because he's not SVG, but it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Priest, Bowman, Byron, SVG, and Blaney. It's definitely a different lineup. I'm not really too high on the Bowman and the Priests of the worlds today, but it'll definitely be unique. Lego says DK is still available in California for now. Hopefully they stay legal. Obviously, that's a big player base there. It's one of the biggest states, obviously, so. Thank you, Marvin. Is 80% too much on FanDuel or Archfield GPP? No, that's what I'm doing. I have 80% of the big dogs, which is what I'm assuming. Thoughts on Will Brown today? Just based off the salary and stuff, he hasn't really popped up too much for me. I don't necessarily think he's a bad play. Obviously, we know he can run well with these track types. He's not SVG by any means. But he just kind of falls in a dead zone. I mean, Ryan Blaney's right there. I think Blaney has similar upside. Well, Brown's probably a better road course racer, but Denny Hamlin starts in 40th. I don't hate him, though. I'd say he's very similar to Ryan Blaney, which I do have some Ryan Blaney today. And I do have some Will Brown. So he's not a full fade. But he's not like, oh, it's SVG at 7K starting in 20th. I got to play him. Single to GBP, you have Byron, Elliott, Gibbs, Suarez, Hamlin, Wallace. Thoughts? I don't mind that. Suarez kind of concerns me because he's out of his ride, so I'm not sure how much that team is getting these days now. But it was time for him to be out of that ride. I mean, they need Connor in there, and I'm very excited for Connor. But I do think that lineup will keep you different. Having Gibbs and Suarez, they're not going to be too popular. You're pairing them with the chalk, so I don't think that's a bad way to get different in a single entry. I mean, you're still eating the chalk, but then you have a couple of pivots there. What's up, Dimes? Last man in, single entry, Busher or Ross. Sorry, that is my dog barking. That is something that I also can't control here. I'll have to mute this for a second. I think we're good. All right. he's a little guy, and when the Amazon man comes around, they gotta make sure they think they're just a pit bull. Bull says, currently changing all my lines. Now I understand why you like building last minute. Yeah, I love building last minute. You have the opportunity to change your lineups. You can't be like, well, I had the nuts. I pivoted off it. It's like, I built what I built, and that's it. Hocevar, Reddick are my picks to win. Whew, Hocevar is going to be a bit of a outlier pick for sure. I probably can get with you on the Reddick there. I don't think Hocevar is going to get it done today. But you never know. I mean, this race, we've seen this race get very stupid twice, and we've been there twice, so you never know. We could make it 3. CJ says that Oakley make the trip. Yes, actually, I walked both my dogs down the aisle because they were the ring bearers. It was very cute. So yes, he did make the trip, which is why we had to drive instead of fly, because Oakley does not fit on a plane. Get my thoughts on Brown there. So sure, I got you there, Carl. How do I feel about Will Gordon? Will Gordon. Oh, assuming you mean Brown. A lot of Will Brown questions in this little plot. I'm sure I answered you guys there, so I don't want to keep talking about Will Brown, I guess, but not a bad play. I don't think he's an elite play. He's just, hey, he shows up. He shows up, right? Sorry, my chat is freezing. My laptop does not have the power that my PC has, so it's starting to get a little hot. It's now frozen. You're gonna have to give me a second. I do apologize. I do have a couple of questions here I can read, and there it goes. Hopefully this stream's not messing up. If this is your first time here, I do apologize. Usually it's much better, but I am in a makeshift little studio thing I made here because unfortunately I do not have my stuff. All right, I reset it, so hopefully it's not bad. Let me pop my chat back out. It says the bit rate's a little low, so like I said, first time here. Stream still seems fine. Okay. Sorry, we're all kind of doing this on the fly today. All right, scrolling back up here. Always appreciate the info. Says Steel won the FanDuel 25 entry. Oh, that's awesome, Steel. I was in there, so I was probably mad at you at the time, but I'll tell you congrats now, Steel. I think I was in the 25 on FanDuel. I'm pretty sure I had the last cashing spot. I'm pretty sure. Also, that reminds me, Atlanta was fantastic. Might have been the best race I've ever seen in my life. Also, the contests last week were insane. I cashed single entries with one driver alive. I had, like on FanDuel, I had 4 guys crashed and 1 was left, and that's all it took. Because all of the chalk was dead. Actually, almost every driver was dead. So it wasn't even just the chalk. If you played the front, you were dead. If you played the back, you lost all those guys. So it was just a matter of, do I have one guy left? And that might be enough. And it had Chase Elliott, and he won, and all my other guys finished in the 30s. So very insane slate. It was just hilarious how that worked out. You have SVG, Bell, Brown, Hamlin, Priest, and Gillen. Thoughts for 20 max? 20 max? I mean, most things can fly there. I am not really on Priest personally. I don't know if you'd want to take him out. Just not a big fan starting in 7th, but I think the rest can fly. Appreciate you, Logan. What's the ultimate one strategy in one lineup for that one solid lineup? I was thinking SVG and Elliott along with Bell and going from there. I think Bubba, it's on Hill. Not huge on Hill in the Cup Series, but if I am playing one lineup and it was in a big tournament, I would probably have to fade SVG. Take him out for like a Christopher Bell type. I'd still eat the Byron Elliott chalk, but I can get different elsewhere. You could take out Bubba for Zane Smith. I don't think that would be a bad way to go. But Dave says FanDuel, SVG, Reddit, Giz, McDowell, Ty Dillon. I would not play Ty Dillon on FanDuel personally. He is a DraftKings only play for me. FanDuel, you need guys that can legit just get top 15s, top 20s. I don't think he's gonna have that in him. I would not play Ty Dillon. And thank you, Dave. I can't say hockey. Maybe. Maybe. Brad K or Denny Hamlin? I would go with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's not good at road courses these days, but he starts dead last, so don't wreck it, Denny. Limp your way to 20th. That's all I ask. Skibble, Crochet, or Wheeler? I like Wheeler today, Clint. Aaron said, you can't go wrong with any. I can't say Scooble. He's playing my team, but the Indians are horrible. Absolutely awful. I think they've lost 9 in a row, it seems like. I haven't really gotten to watch this week, but I think they get shut out every day, it seems like. And I'm sure that won't change versus Scooble today. I do remember, Bull, I did not get to see the Tyler. Like I said, I haven't got to see anything on track with my eyes. I obviously looked at all the data, lap data, which is the most important stuff, but I did not get to see Tyler Reddick's paint scheme. I'm assuming it's pretty cool. So when I watch the race today, it'll be the first time I actually see the cars. Any weather concerns? There is a good chance of rain today, Mike, but with this being a road course, we do have the wets. Thoughts on Hocevar? I can't do it starting at third. It's just too high for me, and I do not trust him at all to stay in the top 3 all day. And there's just too much PD. Hello, Miss Jules. I can call you wifey now, finally. I got to change your name on my phone, actually. It still says fiance. I just realized that, but thank you for being here. Happy race day. And yeah, go Blaney. Not really a track where we can expect much from Blaney like most places, but we'll hope for the best. Balicki scoring a win today? Obviously. I'm surprised Balicki's not the favorite over SVG. Any left for Brad or Will Brown? Not really on Brad. I can understand liking Will Brown today, though. But Brad's not really the best guy out there for road courses. Not really keen on Justin Haley. Not big there. Kyle Busch or Justin Haley? Ooh. So Kyle Busch is not going to 3. I would say Kyle Busch. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, if you guys want to play Eric Jones today, like we don't expect him to be like super fast, but he was not that bad at Mexico. At the same time, he was kind of terrorizing all my drivers because they couldn't pass him. I think they were much faster than him, but he starts 34th. Like Jones could easily finish 22nd today and not be that good, easily. I mean, that's all it takes. SVG Ty Dillon or Cindric and Dinger on DK. Whew. If it's cash, I would say SVG Ty Dillon. If it's a tournament, I like the Cindric Dinger. I think that's probably the best. It's never been legal in Georgia? Really? It's odd to me. I don't know why it wouldn't be. No, it has to be. I know somebody in Georgia that plays, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Tyler Reddick will win, says Reg. Possibly. I have him as my second favorite to win. He could. I don't know why. He was horrible in Mexico, but it looks like he fixed the ship here back in the States. Maybe it's the extra MJ money in Chicago. Could be. What's up, Andy? Nice to see you, sir. Yeah, we gotta change our name. Julian G on here. Gotta make it Julian P now. Oh, DraftKings DFS is legal, but not Sportsbook. Oh, okay. I got you, so. That's what I was confused. I was like, my friend plays DFS all the time. Lots of Will Brown questions. Maybe Will Brown's going to be higher owned than I thought. You guys love Will Brown. I'm not anti-Will Brown. I was kind of lukewarm on him, you know. But lots of Will Brown questions. So how in the live show I changed to 10%? Does it am I making it sound like I hate SVG Bull? I mean, hopefully that's not the case. But I mean, the pricing is definitely the issue. That's the thing. But I mean, Bell's right there. He can make it work. Larson's right there. Larson's got to go to the rear, but dog going off. As Spread would say, he hasn't barked in 3 years. Tyler's P2 last year had the fastest car. Oh, you don't have to remind me, Reg. I bet on Reddick last year. I forget what the odds were. And he was gonna pass Alex Bowman. I think he hit the wall like at the very end, and he couldn't make the pass. But yeah, Reddick was gonna win at the end. Nate says as pretty as Chris is. His wife must be a real smoke show. I would have to say so. I would agree. Yeah, I've been telling that for years, Michael. Build your lineups last second. You can't pivot off of everything. Thank you, Timothy. Flag plans today. Last man for cash. I am nearly all in on Byron and Elliott. If they wreck, I can't control that. So don't yell at me if they wreck. I'm not the one driving. But yeah, love them. For tournaments, though, I'm being overweight on Chastain. I'm overweight on AJ Allmendinger. Also, pretty overweight, I believe, on McDowell. I believe so. That's a big dono. Appreciate that, whoever it is. Knockout, appreciate that. Says, take your wife out for dinner. Wishing you much success and a healthy life. Thank you for all that you do for me. Take care, young man. Well, appreciate that knockout. That was very nice of you, and it's much appreciated. And I will definitely do that. So thank you so much. That was very nice. Hopefully I'm help you out in other ways as well. Lost my spot. I think Reg is Tyler Reddick's biggest fan, if I had to guess. Which I don't blame him. It's Tyler Reddick at a road course, street course. He should be good. He should be good. Is Eric Jones a decent PD pump play? Yeah. I mean, he's definitely in that conversation as being one of the better ones for sure. Yeah, I definitely got to give KO a lot of likes on that. That was very nice of him. Appreciate that. Matthew says, thoughts on Austin Hill? I myself have not really been on Austin Hill. He starts 30th, yes. I'd rather play Eric Jones. Rather play Stenhouse, personally. 45 or 20? For DFS purposes, I like Bell. If it's just finish for the race, I have Reddick slightly higher. Brad K's underdog today. Brad K at road courses is not my cup of tea, personally. But I don't speak for everybody on that. Appreciate you, Logan. You know, this guy's for the people when he just got married and still doing a stream for us. Of course. Can't do the stream. You gotta. I hope he wins for you, Reg. I really do, because I do not have any bets on outrights for this race. I truly hope he wins for you. Thoughts on Frankie Muniz? I think it's cool. I grew up watching Malcolm in the Middle. He was on TV and I was little, so I mean, it's pretty cool, right? I think that's cool. Who you got as a favorite, not naming SVG, and who's a sleeper you got a feeling about just for betting purposes? I mean, this is my betting sim. So guys showing a lot of value are Larson and Busher, at least on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Obviously, you could compare prices. Like I said, I have a lot of variance in mine. So having a 6.34 for SVG is probably lower than most people. And compared to the book, I am way off their number. But that's how I do it. There's just so much that can happen in a NASCAR race. And SVG won the first one, but let's be honest, he was not going to win unless he just somehow avoided all that parking lot. He was good. He was running in the top 3 for most of it, and then things got shuffled around, which can always happen. And then 20 cars wrecked, and he somehow did not, and he just drove right through, and then he wins the race. And then last year, he gets torpedoed, and that's another thing that can happen. So, but if all goes well, SVG should win. Not saying he's not. Appreciate you, Rogue. Second, I got Elliott top 10 plus 105 and Busher top 10 at plus 100. Also sprinkle him to win. Elliott plus 2,000 and Busher 2,500. Let me go look again because I forget what the numbers were. So we have, I would bet Elliott at, I mean, it's not like crazy, but I think that's solid. And the Busher number, what was that? Yeah, Busher at 2,500. I love that. Shoot, what book was that? Because I'm in Ohio. I'd like to bet that. Everything else looks good though. I like those bets. I like him a lot. Lock in 40 on DraftKings, and then lock in, 14 in FanDuel. What's up, Zan? Bet the house on Ty Gibbs. You gotta let it go, kid. Now, he might have somewhat of a chance today, but I don't know if he's ever gonna win. He might be cursed. Thank you, Ryan. Ty Gibbs gonna get dubbed soon. I don't know. I've heard that for a while. So I think you'd understand why I might have some skepticism on that. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, AJ in Carolina. No problem. I'm late to my own party, too, so don't worry. Yeah, Larson Bowman to the rear. There's like 10 cars to the rear. It's pretty bad. What's up, Tito? Truish to log out? I would recommend to log out. It's usually the safest route. Okay, this has been a pretty long stream. I think I've made it to the end. If you guys have any dire questions or last-second comments, feel free to do that. I will probably wrap this up, though. I think we've answered pretty much everything here. I do appreciate the donuts, and I really do appreciate all the congrats and everything. I know you guys don't know me in person, but it does mean a lot. Thank you very much. We have a great community here, so we can thank NASCAR for that. You guys are really the best. Let me double check everything. Let me make sure Bob hasn't given us any surprises here. I haven't seen anything. I'm sure IndyCar's on, so he's probably not even tweeting about NASCAR right now. All right. He did post a radar thing. 50 minutes from green flag at Chicago. Monitoring weather to the northwest. I mean, there's just kind of pop-ups everywhere. It looks like at some point we are going to get rain, though, unless they dissipate, but not sure how likely that is, of course. But Rogue says, Bally's, Arizona, well, I have to check. I mean, I do like that Busher line quite a bit. Under 6K on DraftKings, there is not much. I would say Ty Dillon's a somewhat okay play. Eric Jones, I don't mind. And then I can't say Zane because he's not below 6K. So Ty Dillon, Jones, and I would guess I'd throw Stenhouse in there. Snips on Twitch says, second week watching NASCAR. Let's go Byron. Awesome, Snips. Hopefully you keep enjoying it. You might like Chicago. It's definitely going to be a little different from... If Atlanta was your first race, I mean, congrats. That was the best race I've ever seen in my life. So hopefully you stick with it and enjoy it. It's a fun sport. Appreciate your spread. Good luck, grade A. And yeah, appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. And let's hope so. Thank you, Michael. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. And I'll be back in Florida, so we'll be in the actual stream room, and everything will look